Hey guys, super quick lesson for you today. It's actually only two slides, and this is the only one that really matters. So there's four themes, four big things we're going to talk about today. This is normally the day where I would have you guys research one of them and re-explain it to me, but you guys have kind of already been doing stuff like that, so I want to try and do it a little bit different for you. Um, I'm going to explain why these are important, and then you guys are going to essentially play chaos, but not play chaos. I'm sorry, I can't think of something better. So this is how we're going to do it. Oil wealth brings political and economic changes to the region. Oil is the fundamental form of economic growth and wealth in the area. Nothing is more important in Southwest Asia than oil. Um, what ended up happening is that so many different people have fought to develop oil wealth that Western countries, um, the British, French have all come in and established like almost puppet governments. One of the reasons why Iran is like hates the United States so much is because Iran had a democratic revolution and threw out its king. Well, the United States didn't like that Iran did that because they weren't getting such a sweet deal on oil. And so the United States threw out Iran's democratically elected government and brought the king back in and said, put him back in charge until there was another revolution over that king and they were thrown out. All of the Middle East has fought over different oil fields. The first Iraq war was fought between um, Iraq and Kuwait over oil. So it's very, very, very important for you to understand that oil is a major, major resource in Southwest Asia. Um, However, all of these countries in Southwest Asia have very similar problems with, excluding mainly Israel, uh, of developing a complete economy. So they have this very wealthy natural resource of oil, but they have a hard time manufacturing anything. So they can't make their own stuff. They have to buy it from other people, and they end up losing a lot of money along the way because they have to buy things at a markup. Um, Furthermore, their medical system isn't fully developed. They have a hard time with literacy rates, especially outside of the major metropolitan areas. If you were in a major city like Baghdad or Dubai, it would have a very similar feel to that of a major city inside the United States. However, when you take those, like, step outside of that and go into these very small, very poor tribal regions, it is very, very different. And the literacy rate is very, very low. Another major problem that they have is during times of economic boom, when they're really making a lot of money, they're flooded with foreign workers. So we think that that is particularly a problem of the United States, like when we talk about immigration and who's making the money and where are they going with it and blah blah blah. But that's actually a worldwide problem for developed countries or wealthier countries. Is people come from across Africa or poorer regions of Central Asia and move into the wealthier regions of the Middle East, take jobs, make money, send that money back home to where they came from, or eventually leave with that money. And so there is a huge visiting worker problem inside of Southwest Asia. Another really interesting thing about Southwest Asia is that there's been massive shifts of population in recent years. So in Lebanon, were wars in the early 2000s. Syria has seen millions upon millions of people moved into refugee camps and brought all the way over into Illinois, Missouri, all these different places where people, who were at one point extremely well educated college graduates, have seen their entire world torn apart because of wars, and for all different types of reasons. The religious aspects are always there. Then there's also this economic aspect, and it just makes it very, very difficult for people to survive there. you're going to do is you are going to pick 9 of these words. Some of them are things that we've talked about very closely. Like, we should know what a salt flat is. You should know what oil and water and a desert is, and who the Kurds are, and who Muhammad is. But I want you to pick 9 of these words and describe how they matter inside of the Middle East. So it should be just really like 9 sentences, no more than maybe 2 sentences per each one, and describe what it is. Maybe some of you will have to do a little bit more research, like what is desalinization? Um, or what is Palestine? Was the argument there between Palestine and Israel? There's all these really interesting things that we didn't quite dive as deep into, but I want to give you guys an opportunity to look those things up. So, short video. Hope this works for you guys. Just a few sentences for each of these things, a little bit of research. Remember, I don't want you just to write them down or like copy and paste a book example. I want you to say why they're important in the definition of Southwest Asia.